Mother.
He's been working on trying to get these nuts open since Tampa. We're now Dallas, Fort Worth. He still ain't got the bag open.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 2 of the LLC podcast. I'm your boy, Three Wheel Willie, here with helper extraordinaire Trent, Dean with Dean Seaside Customs, and our executive producer, Justin. Today, we're going to talk about shows. What's everybody's opinions on shows? Do we like to chase trophies? Do we just like to go see some nice cars? Do we like to cruise? What do we like to do? Trent, what do you think?
I love cruising, obviously. I'm always about a trophy, too. Several at the house, but I like just getting together. Like, for me, the car shows is about hanging out the before, after. I've seen all the cars 100 times, so it is what it is. But
I don't know. For me, I'd have to say it started off when I was really young with it. It was always about trying to just get out there and see if I can bring home some hardware, show it off and kind of try to be that top dog in the group. Well, it's like the older I've gotten, got a family now and stuff like that. I got to agree with Trent. It's about the camaraderie, the brotherhood of it all, just getting out, helping each other out, being with friends you consider family, in some cases closer than blood. So to me, it's changed. It's actually about both things. Trophy chasing when I was younger, and now, again, it's for me now more than anything. It's about just the community more than anything.
Yeah. See, for me, it's never been about the trophies. I could give a damn about a trophy. I just like to enjoy my car. I want to cruise it. I want to hit some switches. I want to have fun with it. I like to have fun building it, and I like to have fun driving it. And if it looks cool and people like it and judges like it, so be it. But at the end of the day, I just want to drive my car.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that mindset now too, more than anything.
Yeah,
I agree.
There's a lot of shows coming up too. There's what do we got coming up?
Lowriders coming back to Tampa in a couple months.
Lowriders come back. Yeah, we're excited about that. Lowriders come back to Tampa. Hopefully, it's going to be a good show.
How many years they've been out?
Oh man,
from Tampa. I think what was it 06 was the last time I think I went. And I think that was actually the last show.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I don't know exactly what year they dipped out, but it's been that long. It's been a minute.
I think roughly it was 06.
But it was a good show back when it was in Tampa. They came back to Florida for a while. They were in Miami.
Yep.
But I don't think it was ever quite as good.
I was
as
never
the
impressed
Tampa
with the Miami show, to be honest, man. Like,
yeah, no, to this day, from the lowrider shows in Miami to the lowrider shows we have now here in Florida, I still think hands down the Feederman Steel show is the best lowrider show that we have right now. We'll see how the lowrider Tampa show does, but right. That's just a solid show. Those guys put on a hell of a show. Great hop, great atmosphere, and it's just a lot of cats who like to cruise too.
Yeah. I got to be honest. I never got to the Miami show. I heard about it, and kind of a lot of people had the same opinion Trent just said. It wasn't as good as the Tampa show. So I never really bothered to step down there.
It was a 3-hour cruise for us to get down there.
Yeah.
$50 entry fee, and you could go through the entire show in like an hour and a half.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't nothing crazy.
It's nothing like the Arizona show we went to.
That bitch was bad, boy.
Yeah.
Well, eventually, we're gonna have content of that up eventually.
Eventually, well, there's plenty of photos on the Instagram page.
That's right.
Through Willie on Instagram. It's my lowrider photography page. Check it out there. There's lots of nice cars, man. It was a big show. I was fortunate enough. I've been there for two years. I was fortunate enough last year to get a press pass, so I got in early. I was able to get all my pictures out of the way for the most part before people got in there. But it was a big show, and it's funny because I got in there early. Gates opened at noon?
For us, yeah.
And y'all came in.
When were you in there, like 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock?
About 7. Yeah, and I tried to tell y'all it was a big show.
That's like your own personal car show.
Yeah, no,
even though you're working, essentially. I mean, it's still your own personal car show without all the crowds and all the distractions. I mean, that must have been beautiful.
It was awesome. And I tried to tell y'all it was a big show. But y'all didn't want to listen.
You
don't know until you know.
Yeah, when we were inside, we spent all day inside, and then we turned the corner to go outside, and there was...
That's a whole second show.
Damn, where'd these come from?
Man, I say, y'all know there's some cars outside.
I didn't even know that. We stepped out at the end of the night, and it was an entire second car show.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was just, I'll be honest, arguably just as good as inside some of the cars out there, and those were like some daily cruisers. Some of these cats was out there like
banging them.
They came around the corner and they were in their daily cruisers, and God, the money they had in those things.
That's what I love about the West Coast, man. I wish we could have found where the cruise was that night because that would have been a sight to behold there.
still couldn't believe, like, we wake up the next morning and you have all these 64, 63. They left the tops down all night.
Yeah,
There's no humidity.
West Coast, baby. You got to love
nothing.
it. Didn't destroy nothing.
Nothing. I mean, zero. You're right. Zero humidity.
Yeah.
It's just it was something to see. And the money, you see the class of lowrider out there versus down here in our area, in our surrounding areas. I mean, there's some nice. Don't get it twisted. There are some nice, daily scrapers out there. They are really, but in this area, but out there, man, it's a level difference. It is literally a level difference.
Yeah. And it's tough to compete out there, man. They because the scene over there is so much bigger than it is here. You get a lot more builders. You got a lot higher quality builds.
Yeah.
There's just a few builders here that are on that level. Yeah.
It was nice going out there to see different vehicles. Like,
facts.
If you go to the shows here in Florida, you see the same cars over and over. You might get the new build every once in a while. You might get somebody down from Georgia, maybe somebody down from Louisiana, but 90% of the cars are the same ones. So to get out there and see something different, and the quality builds out there.
You ever get a chance, go to the West Coast for the Lowriders, man. It's real nice.
My favorite part about that show, getting in what we were talking about earlier, was us hanging out. Like, we flew, we did an impromptu fucking venue change. We decided last minute that we were going to go out to LA to check out the Peterson Museum. Gypsy Rose was in the museum. So we literally flew into Phoenix, rented it was supposed to be a Tahoe or Suburban. What did you have us reserved?
Yeah. Oh, man. I had us a 7-passenger vehicle, Tahoe or Expedition size or equivalent.
We ended up with
struggle bus.
We ended up with a minivan.
The struggle bus.
But it was rough.
You might as well put a banner on the side of that puppy that said tourists.
It was a struggle bus. It was a Chrysler Voyager is all they had to give us. The chip shortage was no joke.
And I turned around as we were exiting, turned back around into the garage, and we had to go through it again.
Yes.
You big dummy. How do you get lost in a parking garage?
Only you.
How we do.
You try to play it off by putting sunglasses on like you're somebody else.
Well, yeah,
there's another minivan with.
No, when we rolled out,
I said everybody put their glasses on.
When we rolled out the first time, Dean asked the attendant. He's like, "Hey man, do we look cool in the bus?"
Yeah, I remember. He said, "Do we look hard in this?"
And the guy's like, "Maybe if y'all put on some glasses." And then Dipshit here got lost, so we had to circle back around. So when we came back by, we put on glasses.
Throw the glasses on, man. Throw the glasses on.
We had to back up. We like, how about now? That dude lost his shit.
Yeah, he said, "You go, you straight."
Yeah. And that was it. And we made his day. We
did. But it was that. See, that was a great time. That's why I can't wait for the Vegas show, because we're taking a trip out to Vegas this year in late September, early October, for the Vegas Lowrider show. And I hope we have just as good a time. I'm sure we will, because California, I was a little hesitant to go over there because I didn't want to drive all the way from Phoenix to LA to just stay a night and then turn around and drive back, because I had to get up early for the.
Was it worth it?
It was. The Peterson was cool. Seeing the Gypsy Rose was cool. It was a bucket list moment
we need to see
for all of us.
We touched that motherfucker.
Shh, don't tell nobody.
I believe you yelled at your son. Get your hand over here.
It was a good time, man.
You better touch this damn car.
We saw a lot of sights. We did some cool things. We didn't get to see any cruises on Whittier, but we did go to Whittier, as sketchy as that was.
We rolled into.
Well, let's explain why it was sketchy.
We rolled into LA at like 11:30 in the evening. Yeah. 4 white dudes in a minivan
Pitch
in East
black
LA.
On Whittier.
3 white dudes in a light-skinned Hispanic.
And a light skin.
There was some cat on the sidewalk. He was just talking to himself.
But one crackhead just jamming out was the only thing popping on Whittier.
My man was pop locking in the middle of the street, bro.
Listen, he was getting down.
No music.
Getting down. He had a boombox, but it wasn't on.
It was.
I rolled up, said, Peyton, keep the car running. We got out for 13 seconds, took 3 pictures, and got the hell out of Dodge. Boy.
He stayed in there. He was on the gas. True. He was ready. He was at 10 and 2, ready to go. He was ready to dip. Struggle bus out.
It was a good time.
Yeah, I honestly, as much, again, it touches back to us getting older and everything. I'd say literally half the fun was just the journey out there and being with y'all and everything. That was definitely
that's true.
Quite an experience. Just the journey of getting there and then going from each place. checking out different sites and everything. You know, on the corner, where was it? The corner where
Biggie
got capped.
Right
Yeah,
saw that. Yeah.
everything. It's fun. It's the memories. It's the mistakes, like getting lost in the parking garage.
And you trying to commit felonies?
Yeah. We ain't gonna talk about that one. We ain't gonna talk about that. That was in Arizona. We ain't gonna talk about that one.
We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes.
Yeah, you made one.
Almost
allegedly made a mistake.
You are guilty until proven innocent.
Let's cover all the bases. Almost allegedly made a mistake.
You fucking villain. We gotta put that video in there.
You fucking villain.
You fucking villain. Shut up.
Listen,
Oh man.
Now
Johnny Rockets was a good time, buddy.
I'll never live that down.
Hell no, you won't.
No.
Hell no, you won't.
No. That was a good time. It was a good experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the lowrider shows, man, they're out west. They are another animal. Speaking of lowrider shows, man, there's so many lowrider shows popping up now. You know, you have the lowrider tour, and you had Joe Ray that was kind of behind the scenes, and now he's separated off and he's running his own thing, making his own tour. I'm
trying to get a grasp on that. There's so many different
lowrider tour. Now you have the lowrider experience that he was affiliated with originally. That's supposed to be Lowrider magazine.
Okay.
As it was. And they're adding more dates, coming back to Tampa, going back to Georgia, a little bit more on this coast, which is awesome. But you got all these shows. You got the Lowrider Experience show, the show we went to in Arizona, the Arizona Super Show. I don't believe is affiliated with either one of those.
I'm not complaining. You can have as many different, venues as you like. It just, to me, it just adds up to more shows as long as they're quality or that,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just trying to get a grasp on.
It's just
many different.
It's just a lot.
There's a lot.
They're promoting the crap out of all these shows. They want everybody to come and spend all the money to go to these shows. And is there any? Where's the cruises happening? That's what I want to know.
And they ain't cheap. Like,
they're not
looking
cheap.
at like $50 just to spectate.
Yeah,
not even shows.
Yeah.
$50-$60 just to walk up in there.
I mean, I never thought there'd be so much money in a car show, but damn.
And the amount of people that go there, you can only imagine what they're pulling that weekend.
Yeah. It's mind-boggling. I mean, I'm all for it because at the end of the day, it's going to help the lowrider community. It's going to help, put awareness to lowriders and hopefully get younger cats into it and get them away from the stance cars like we were talking about last week. But it could. I'm hoping that it's for the better.
It's a healthy outlet for young and old. But yeah,
right. And other than lowrider shows, there's other shows. The mini truck shows we go to. We go to Slam Fest every year here in Tampa. We go
years now.
Yeah, we used to go. We used to have Doing It in the Dark. I don't know if I heard they were bringing that back. I don't know if they are or not. But
one of my favorites that's always down here was Blood Drag. Blood Drag.
I never got to that.
Amazing.
One. Never got to. I heard good things.
Back this year, didn't they?
Yeah, they brought it back 2020. So I was trying to find the dates for this coming year, but I couldn't find them earlier. But the first year of Blood Drag was, I want to say 98, 99.
Wow.
Hands down, the craziest after show type shit I've ever seen. The police was not ready. They was not ready, bro. We rolled in probably 1,000, 2,000 trucks deep, and we had hotels set up. We had 3 hotels on this main intersection. It's like 3 lanes each direction. Right off the interstate, right? So you could the interstate was literally in our backyard.
Okay.
There were so many cars doing burnouts in the parking lot. Oh. Passerbys called the fire department. We had the fire department come rolling in. There were people jumping on the fire trucks, fucking driving through the parking lot, bro. It was insane. Hands down, the best.
That's borderline riot,
dude. It was crazy.
Cool. But it's cool though, man. That's just a bunch of dudes having fun. I bet there was no drama that night. It was just a bunch of fun.
Yeah, I'll say that's one thing I was not upset, but just wish we would have got to experience was a little bit of the nightlife outside of the show. And we went to not Vegas. My Vegas,
apologies.
Arizona.
Arizona, yeah.
We're going to Vegas.
We couldn't find the cruises that night.
Yeah, we couldn't.
Plus, you had us hemmed up at Johnny Rockets. With,
Yep. Oh, you.
She was a good sport. Anyway.
I'm gonna put that picture up.
Yeah.
Yes, the ketchup. Yes. Oh, you basic.
Why do we still have these pictures?
I got all the pictures.
Allegedly. We allegedly have these pictures.
Why can't I keep saying allegedly? Guilty. It doesn't matter if I'm innocent. I'll be guilty in this group till I pass.
And Eastbound Get Down, that's coming up, right?
That's a
Next
newer
weekend.
one. Yeah.
That's coming up next
When
weekend.
is that? Next
yeah.
weekend?
Yep.
You going right,
Yeah.
Justin?
Damn.
Yep.
We need some pictures.
Yeah, I won't have a chance to go
I'll
to
get
that one
pictures.
this year, but for sure get us some good footage of that one.
Is this
We'll talk
the
about
first
that.
annual or second annual?
This is second.
Second annual. Did you go last year?
Yeah.
How was it?
Cold as hell.
Should be good this weekend coming up.
Then you got
Our
popping
winter,
up.
our winter has already passed.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Then you got popping up a lot lately is gatherings Saturday and Sunday mornings for coffee.
Yeah, the Cars and Coffee. It's
Cars and coffee, like all
that's
kinds of
this
places
Sunday
hosting that.
here in our town is Cars and Coffee.
Yep.
And that's cool. I mean, it's not a
Yeah.
ton. It's not a ton of lowriders or mini trucks or
More of your old heads and their hot rods, which I'm all for.
Classic. That's cool. But what's cool about it is you get to cruise around the neighborhood, man.
Yeah.
You get to cruise in your town. The cops really don't hassle you because they know it's a bunch of cool cars coming out.
Yeah.
You
And it's kind of really like mingling like the young and old
yeah.
with that whole
Those are the
situation.
times when I can get away with bending a corner from time to time.
Right. And I've seen nothing but I've seen nothing but positive feedback.
I said I'll allow it.
I'll allow it.
But it's a good time. I like Cars and Coffee. I get
Yeah.
up early anyway, so it's perfect for me.
I see a lot of positive feedback from like maybe an older generation that sees these up and coming cars and everything. Especially a lot of us, actually pretty much all of us, drive older vehicles. Trent, you got 264s. You got a 64. You got your 96 or 95.
96, yeah.
Town car. I got a 93 Caddy. So
Eventually the 75.
the 75. Yep, Caprice and everything.
That-
It's a pipe dream, but
Allegedly.
allegedly. But
all of you.
you see,
We have to explain this. We're gonna keep talking about it.
We're not going to talk. You know what? Forget it.
what episode is that? That's the episode. That might be just you and me,
episode-
Trent.
Episode 3.
That's episode
4-year anniversary.
million.
Oh, that's the 4-year anniversary episode.
No, I'm actually looking forward to Cars and Coffee this weekend because I actually
Yeah,
get
it's
to
the Sunday.
bring the
right?
Buick out for the first time.
Oh, that's right.
Be the first time we get it out there.
Really? Yeah. I'm excited to see the feedback on that, and that's the point I was trying to make. I see a lot of positive feedback from older to younger. That it's, especially if you're not coming through and acting a fool, and you're being respectful and just there to again the camaraderie and showing off your ride there. Whether they understand it or not, or it's their first pick of a style of vehicle, they still love it and they ask a lot of questions.
It's funny. So when I had the Regal, and I would take the Regal up there and I'd park it on 3,
Right.
and you'd see these old cats who you wouldn't think are lowrider guys because they got their muscle car shirts on, and they're old white dudes, and
Yep.
and they come up and they go, "Man, I haven't seen one of these in forever.
Mm-hmm.
You from California?"
You get that a lot.
You do. You really do.
A lot of
And you're like, "Oh man,
people talking about
it's-
SoCal feel and
you
everything,
just-
and yeah, love it.
know.
They can't get enough. They eat it up.
They appreciate it. They really do. They appreciate it more than I think these younger cats know.
Yeah.
And
I was really expecting
nice.
something different, and I've received nothing but.
Nothing but love.
I'll say this:
Yeah,
when
nothing
we
but love.
finished your Ranger and we took it to Firme,
Yeah.
and you had those 3 old OGs come through and just kind of
3 different.
oogle over it, and we're looking at the build that we had, the setup that we had in the rear end of that. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was good shit.
By far, I think probably, and I've gotten a lot of comments on it, a lot of compliments. Top 2, in the top 2 of compliments was 3 OGs, old heads, and they were all different heads of different clubs that were at the Firme show,
Yeah.
and collaboratively they were just looking at everything, and collaboratively they agreed. And one of them said, it's people like you and seeing what you've built here that are pushing this lifestyle to the next level. And I'm getting chills right now just thinking about that. When they said that was like that was
that's
worth
a
the
great
entire
compliment.
build right there.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of all nighters, long nights that the 3 of us put in on that truck.
Right till the morning.
Even Justin came through, I think, a few times, helped on that one, right?
I didn't make
Not
it
on,
that
not
way.
on the
Didn't
Ranger.
they?
Not on the
Ranger,
Ranger.
you started on the Buick.
The Regal. You started helping us with the Regal, yeah. But there were a lot of, I'll never forget the last night all nighter out here prepping it
Till the
to
morning,
load
finished
up,
it.
My
My test drive was to work that day and back, and then from there it went right up to Tampa on its own 4 wheels, and that not a hiccup.
Yeah, the last night of that build, I remember we were pulling out when the sun was pulling in, and your dad's employees were pulling in the parking lot to go mow grass.
Yeah,
We're out
so
there,
you just
we're out
got
there
here?
chipping in the front. So.
Oh, you just got here, and we over here we're running tests on it and just doing quick checking out everything from stem to stern, and we're like, no, we're just getting ready to leave, and like, you kidding me? Like, No.
Yeah, that was a long night, but it was good.
We-
But it was a good night. It was a
mollywopped.
good night. We did the damn thing on that one, man.
It was a solid
There's a lot of
solid build.
one
That was a
off,
solid build. And,
a lot of one off parts, a lot of intricate things that you
Mhm.
did on that thing, man. You know, fabricator extraordinaire over there.
I figured if I'm going to come into the scene with that style of a setup, I'm not just going to tiptoe into it. I'm not saying I'm going to be the heaviest hitter out there, but it definitely, absolutely was a statement. I'm here, and this is what I'm bringing to the table.
It was
and
definitely
you
one
know,
of a kind.
I definitely wanted to make it look like, especially with all of us a part of it, I wanted it to look like, almost a veteran build. Nothing first about it. I wanted it to almost look like a veteran build, like you guys been in the scene for a minute. And we have, just not with that setup.
Yeah, at least when I painted stuff on that, I didn't drop it. That was nice.
It all stayed in the garage. Didn't bounce off the floor.
It did not.
No. Outstanding build, though. That's the fun of it. I mean, that's
Yeah,
to me the most fun of all the builds is actually building them.
yeah. It was a good time. So, yeah, I enjoy all of them, man, because they all have a little bit different aspects.
Everything.
The Ranger was fun. We built that. It was a good time. The Regal was fun. It had its whole other
Oh,
sets of issues and hiccups that would
And it was,
hurdles
but it was
that
a
we
whole
had to jump.
different style of build too.
Right, and they've both been great learning curves. And it's you learn from experience, and you don't get experience until you get in there and you do something.
Took us what 4 hours to put your front end together.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh man, that was a nightmare.
Put it on wrong, put it on backwards,
Oh.
flipped it around.
God help me, changing an engine mount in a Regal.
They were angry. Those were angry
That was
engine mounts.
we earned that.
Yeah.
We earned it. Yeah, that car did not want anything to do with it.
No.
So I felt bad for the Buick build. I ended up we had a three week deadline for my Buick to get done before Slam Fest.
No, we had initially like a 3-month deadline, but parts.
Yeah.
It was a parts issue that we had.
No, it was in the shop.
That's what I'm saying. And in the shop, he was having an issue getting parts, and when he finally got them all and finished it up, then it was a 3-week.
For the
Deadline.
engine parts.
And then I ended up with COVID for the first 2 weeks of the build. So I ain't do
Yeah, that
nothing
was
on my
not-
own
that was
car.
not good. But you know what? I ended up as soon as I got the lift to start building the Regal, I had got COVID.
Yeah.
So both of our builds started off on a terrible note.
And I didn't. That wasn't gonna phase us regardless. I mean, you were sick. We just like forget it. Stay home. Don't sweat it. You were really upset about it.
We just went to town on
That was it. I was gonna be like, all right, well, we'll do like 2 nights on it a week, and then literally started on it. And then the next day, I was like, all right, I'll go again, put a couple hours in. Literally, it snowballed to 6 days, 7 days straight, meeting you at your house.
Yeah.
You getting right off of work, me getting right off of work, driving right over there, and just in work clothes, putting in hours. And by the time Trent was actually healthy enough to come out, we had so much like accomplished. And you felt bad, but you didn't. I mean, you could have sidelined the whole time. I would have, I'll build a car for you any day of the week. But I made sure that I'm gonna get over there and give it my best effort. And then you second right in with that, and then you would come through and everything. And we were really solidifying that it's going to the show.
Yeah. No,
Regardless of sickness, time frame be damned, it's going to the show.
You put in so much work. I remember you and I went out one day, we picked up some parts for it. So we picked up the last couple valves, I want to say, or not valves, but
we picked up metal
fittings,
for it.
the metal.
Fittings, right?
And we get back to the house, I'm like, hey man, you want to work on this? You're like, no, I don't, man.
No.
Like if you really hell bent, we
No,
can.
I don't.
But
No, I don't.
I really don't.
I remember that. No, I don't.
I said no. Honestly, no, I don't. I'm tired.
You had
buddy.
6 days of seeing my ugly ass come over to your house, and you're just like, I'm going to work. You can go to bed if you want. You're like, I'll get some clothes on.
I was
we
tired,
we put in work.
Yeah, we did. We did.
It was worth it.
Trent was nice enough to give me the day off on that one.
I'll allow it.
Absolutely worth it. Wouldn't change anything about it because we got so far ahead that 3-week deadline actually didn't even matter, didn't even phase us. We had enough time to do a lot of extras to that build.
Yeah, and you know what? And that's what I like about getting back to the shows and the show aspects of it. That's what I like. I enjoy the crunch time. Let's get something ready for a show to show it off because we enjoy it, because we love it. Not
the unexpected hurdles,
not because we want a trophy or win something or a pat on the back, just because it's exciting. I love that. That's what I like. You know
We did
what I mean?
all that shit, and then the show almost got canceled.
Almost.
Because Ian came through.
Almost.
Yep.
I know it was only about half the people showed up that were supposed to show up because of that thing, but
Yeah, and a lot of people that are in the club that Justin and I are in. they couldn't make it.
Y'all had like
a
30
lot of
people
damage.
going. You ended up with like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
20 people tapped out.
Yeah,
It was definitely light. That show was definitely light this year because of
I was more fortunate
Mother
than
Nature.
most. You know, my house thankfully didn't get really any damage. One
Right.
fence panel down.
I didn't know if I was gonna be able to go because of work.
Everything,
They
yeah.
released me literally
That's true.
the day before the show.
And thank God Debbie had a lifted truck because we had 4 or 5 feet of water
you were
in our neighborhood. We
landlocked,
couldn't
right?
get out. Yeah.
Couldn't leave for 6 days.
Yeah. If it wasn't for that lifted truck, I wouldn't have been able to leave either.
Took about a month to get the repairs in this shop squared away so it could be workable again.
And thankfully, the only thing that came from that was I had to replace her steering stabilizers because they sucked in a bunch of water.
Yep.
They were growing. Thankfully, I'll take it. If that's all I got to replace, I'll take it.
I'd say overall, at least the people in this table, we all fared out pretty well, even considering the damages I undertook
Yeah, here
here to
we
the shop.
we came here.
Some money out of the pocket,
squared
but
away.
overall, could have been far, far worse. And so many others experienced far worse.
Yeah.
So back on the shows, which one's your favorite? Like if you had to pick one that you were gonna go to year in and year out, which one do you think is gonna be?
If I had to pick a show to go to year in and year out, I would probably say, man, honestly it's a toss up.
That's a tough question.
It's a toss up between the Vegas show that we're going to go to because I've been there once,
Right.
and the Arizona show for 2 different reasons. One, the Vegas show is a much bigger show in general. It's a lot more people. It's a bigger venue.
I'm excited for
they
that.
They got a hop there. It's cool. And then the afterlife, if you can find it, which I'm sure the people that live there know where it's at. You just got to get in good with one of those guys. I'm sure is cool too. The Vegas show is a little bit smaller show. There's really no hop there, but there's you'll see the Lowriders cruising the strip. You'll go just outside of the strip into all these parking lots, and you'll see hops just banging, and you'll see these cats throwing money. Like it gets aggressive.
Cutting off streets and just chipping.
And that
bumper checking in the middle of traffic. I mean, that's what I want to see.
Buddy, that atmosphere is contagious. Like you get hyped. Like
you don't see that stuff around here. Even though it's kind of blowing up slowly in this area. You don't see that around here.
You know, and I'm not so much a big hopper guy, right? I wanted to build a hopper just to say that we did it and we built a single pump and it was okay. But it's the camaraderie between the guys that build the hoppers and the competition between the guys. Yep. They're not chasing trophy; they're chasing clout, right?
That's it.
Like they want to be the dude,
respect,
right?
Yeah.
Like look at Pinky from fucking where's Ohio or wherever he's from. That dude's the man. I ain't seen a car.
Fear May show, man. Everybody put in work.
Man. Like
he came through. He did it 4 times.
He does his thing, man.
He hit that switch 3 or 4 times, and the last 2 were smashing that bump, just checking the bumper.
He builds it, dominates, sells it, builds another one.
Yeah,
dominates, sells it, builds another one.
That's a level.
I'm excited to see.
He's on that
I'm
level.
excited to see the new one he built. He built an LTD, calls it on site because he's going to serve people on site. It's hilarious. I love it. I love it. And I can't wait to see it, man. I hope you bring it to Florida again soon.
Yeah, I want to see that one.
But that's what I like, right? And then just the cruises, man. You'll see these nice cars just cruising the strip, man. It's straight out of their setup displays on jack stands that you think they don't drive these cars, and they cruise them down the strip.
Off the stands, on the strip.
Beautiful.
You don't see that a lot. Like down here, if it comes in on a trailer, it goes home on a trailer, and then it goes right into a garage.
That's it.
Cruising, bro.
Or back into the shop. That's all it's doing.
No,
you can tell. You look close enough. You see some of these things they're never driven, and that's cool. I mean, some people that's the whole aspect. They just want it's probably a family build, between their kids and them, or their brothers and whatnot, and they show out, and they're beautiful cars. But you could tell they come, like you said, in on a trailer, and they exit on a trailer, and that's all they will ever see.
That's all the driving they get. So.
Yeah, I'm trying not to be that guy.
Justin is taking over Peyton's spot as Dean's handler.
Yeah, my handler. Yeah, no, I don't matter how much money I'll put into a vehicle. Everything. I can't.
You gotta drive it.
Gotta drive it. Gotta enjoy it. I mean, I'll try to avoid rain. That's about it. I won't go out on a rainy ass day.
Yeah.
But for the most part,
about driving it?
You won't even drive it to
Lakeland.
You kidding me?
Some of us are in different financial situations, and I was trying to preserve it just in case it has to turn into a daily until I get something more reliable.
That's just because you're a bitch.
We had a truck and trailer ready for you to go.
Yeah.
That was also the second aspect. I did not want to have to load it and unload it.
Get wet. He gonna melt. Sasquatch don't melt. Come on.
Man, we had to. Me and Ryan had to run to Walmart to get geared up because it was that cold and rainy. I'm glad we did not have to unload that and then reload it.
Because y'all was unprepared.
Extremely. I'm not even going to deny
That's not our problem.
Sorry. We looked fly. Anyway, all right, we came out of Walmart looking fresh.
Yeah. I'm going to put pictures of that up.
That's right. I'll send you some.
With your Darth Vader looking ass.
We looked dressed to impress. Period.
I was trying to figure out who the little spoon was.
Little dude to my left in the green pants, he's like the mistletoe. That was him. That's Ryan.
What do you say, Dean? What's your favorite show that you've been to?
You know, I had time to think about it while you two were talking about it. Here's where my stance is on that. I don't think I have really enough show experience with you guys. Have way more experience with out of town shows and just larger shows in general. For me, it's always kind of been local stuff. I've always.
What's your favorite local show? What's your favorite Florida show?
I mean, I just by default I have to go to Slamfest, and I know and I like Slamfest, and I'm not knocking Slamfest, but I mean, I know there's far bigger and better shows out there.
You take Slamfest over the Turkey Rod Run?
I don't know. That's like apples and oranges, brother.
It is.
They can
They're both shows, though.
They're both shows.
You can
They're both
still
shows.
compare apples to oranges, buddy. They're different things. They can be compared.
Yeah.
Turkey Rod Run's it's on a different level.
It's on a different level, man. And then what's cool about that, it's not even just seeing some of the cars that you go to the show. It's I need some parts that are hard to find, and you're right in the swap meet. So, you're not getting that really at other shows.
And you get to take a lap on the track when you exit on Sunday.
Yeah. Then you get the lap on the track.
That's pretty solid.
I think for now, I'm going to have to say, and this will always be, regardless if it's my first or 15th favorite show, I'll always go to Slamfest. I'll always like and appreciate Slamfest because that's where I got into a lot more of the community of it because it's local for me,
Right.
But I think a lot of that's going to change based off of we'll have content up when we go to some of these shows and everything. I think the best show I've ever been to at this point, hands down for me, is the Arizona show because not just because it was the larger or the largest show I've been to. I mean, it was amazing. Period. Hands down.
It was
a solid
great.
show.
The entertainment, they had Dub C performing.
I mean, we didn't even know that.
Little Rob was there.
Yeah, it was everything. It was solid all the way around.
So I think I'll go with that. I'll go with, for now, my favorite show up to this point is going to be the Arizona.
Yeah.
That get down was something to remember for sure. Yeah.
What about you, Trent? What's your favorite show?
It's tough, man.
Yeah, so I'm saying you guys have been to so many. And you haven't even scratched the surface of some of the ones that you want to see.
This was your question. I figured you had it on rip, ready to go.
But that's the thing. So I've been going to shows since '98. Yeah. So the shows have evolved. That's right. The shows have evolved so much since then. If you would have asked me this 10, 15 years ago and the scene hadn't changed, Spring Break Nationals would have been my question.
Yeah. I didn't even remember that one.
Dude, the after A1A at night, son. There was naked girls.
Can I retract my previous answer? I think Spring Break Nationals.
The gavel's dropped. You can't.
Oh, come on!
I had to do it at Spring Break Nationals one day. We're coming off the beach, heading back out to A1A, right? And there was a pretty little thing in front of us. Ryan was with us, I think. Right? There's a crosswalk that goes between two hotels, right? My man's up on the second floor and he's hollering at the girl below him. Hey girl. My man was leaning over. She walked under. Fell straight out the second floor. Splatted right in front of us, bro. Bam! Hit like a fucking sack of potatoes. Was assed out, dog. We had to call the ambulance and everything.
Oh, he did.
No, he was all right. He can bounce back. He was so drunk, bro. He bounced back all right.
He's all right. He's all right.
He'll be all right.
They say when you're drunk,
dude bounced off the pavement like
bit,
poorly inflated baseball or basketball, and he's all right.
Year in and year out for probably about 4 or 5 years, that was the show to go to, hands down. It was just a weekend of partying. Right, I was a lot younger back then.
I'm gonna change my answer. I don't care about the goddamn gavel.
Now, if we're
Spring Break
talking just the
Nationals
show
was some
aspect
stuff.
of it,
Yeah,
I got to go with Slamology up in Indy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love.
Haven't been to that one.
I haven't been to that one either. We'll have to take a trip up there.
It's set up so well. Like last year, we love the guys at Midi Madness.
You went
Last
with
year,
Peyton went with you, right?
Yeah, he goes every year. The audio at Slamfest ruined the show last year. Like, it was so obnoxious.
The year before, technically.
Yeah, the year before. Yeah, not this year. The way Slamology has it set up is you're on the race. There's the racetrack, right? It's the quarter-mile strip. You have the car show on one side of it. Then you have the vendors along the backside, and all the audio's on the other side. So if you want to partake in the audio, you walk around. There's people out there doing demos. They're DB racing out there.
Okay.
If you come back to this side, it's all cars, and they have it's a no boom zone. Like, you hit a sign, you turn your stereo down, and it's
just like a no wake zone.
Yeah, there's zero fucks. Like, if you turn your stereo up, deuces. We'll see you later.
That's what I like when they hold that down like that, and they're very firm on those. Yeah. Those rules, very stringent. I mean, and they'll kick you out. I mean, that's when people start to really respect it.
And in fairness to Mini Madness at Slamfest, they tried, and that's
did.
That's why they just axed the audio altogether last year.
Because nobody wanted to listen.
No, there was nowhere for it
nobody
to go.
Wanted to
like with here,
it bled into the main show.
It's set up where you're on two opposite sides of the racetrack, right? Slamfest, with Slamfest, it was all like the stereo was butted right up to the show. There was no getting away from it.
And then people were blending in. They would all of a sudden now you've got stunt walls coming through the show.
Yeah, and that's it.
I'm next to my daughter. I'm 1 foot from my daughter. We're screaming at each other. She had to put headphones on for the rest of the show.
I could deal with the bass competitions and the DB Dragon audio section. It's those friggin' stunt walls, man. They get me. They
never ever have good taste in music. It's always the worst songs, any worst song you could possibly think of.
Yeah, Tony Montana.
Anything. Just the worst songs, and it's like 3 songs, and they'll play it over and over until your ears are done bleeding.
Yeah.
Another solid thing about Slamology, they have a cruising lane. Yeah. Like, you're allowed to cruise the show. Like, and the cruise lane starts over in the car show, wraps all the way around. You drive through the DB drag race and come back up. Like, you can legit, and you can hit switches. They don't want you dragging, obviously, but you can you can hop, you can cruise. Slamfest, it's no cruising.
No. If they see you make more than one or two laps, they'll tell you to rack it. Yeah, so they'll let you know, hey, you got to park.
It's super chill up there. It's different vehicle. Y'all know I know a lot of people in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good time, man. It's a great time. Solid. You wouldn't think the Midwest brings in builds like that. They have some solid fucking builds up there.
Shout out to Kurt.
Yeah, Kurt and the Hearse Deadbeat.
Hearse. A mean car.
What about you, Justin?
Justin, what's your favorite show, buddy?
Like they said, I really liked Spring Break Nationals when it was still on the beach.
When it was Spring Break Nationals.
Yeah,
that shit was so fun. So fun.
But there's a show I want to go to. I want to go to Battle in Bama, where they do it right by the aircraft carriers. And
I want to hit that up. That's going to be on our to-do list one of these years. So also, another one up in India I want to hit is called Camp and Drag. My buddy Kurt talks about that all the time.
The painter where I work.
Yeah. That's what
you'll never see another show like it.
Yeah, you need an invite. You need 2 people to vouch for you, and then you have to fill out a fucking application. Yeah. And if you go in there and cause a scene, you and the 2 people that vouch for you get Das Boot, and you're not invited back no more.
Yeah. No, seriously, the guy that I work with at the speed shop that I'm at, he says you'll never ever experience a show quite like Camp and Drag. He goes, I'll rival you to try to outdo that show. It's just that good. I've only heard amazing things about that.
It's literally they cruise the campground 24/7. You pull your chairs out, like you got your campsite set up. Pull your chairs out to the road, and it's people just cruising 24/7 up and down for the entire weekend, man. So.
Right.
There you have it, man. I mean, I think the general consensus is we all like shows. We all like to go to shows, but we like to cruise.
That's the most important thing. That's the most important aspect.
No, I'm not even about cruising, man. I like the adventures that we go on.
The adventures that
watching Dean
turn into
shit
cruising.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. I got to get my cruises, my every other Wednesday.
Yeah, we got to start.
Every other Wednesday cruises. It kind of took a back seat to Corona.
Yeah.
And then the hurricane hit. Took a back seat to a lot of that because obviously things are more important at that point in time. But I'm going to be kicking those up again here coming soon. Every other Wednesday, we do a cruise.
Well, we're looking forward to it, brother.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So
there you have it, folks. Give us your thoughts and opinions on cruises down in the comments, man. If you like what you're hearing.
What shows do you like? Let us know.
Let us know. Yeah, we'll talk about them. If you want to hear us hit a topic, let us know. We'll talk about it.
Like, share, subscribe.
Give us a thumbs up, baby.
Nine, baby.
We'll catch you on the next one.
How you telling people to do that? You don't even know how to do it yet.
Shut up. I know. I'm learning.